What is going on, guys? Survival's back again, coming at you with a. Well, I guess this is going to be more for beginners because this is a question that I get asked literally all the time. I get it asked in Discord, I get asked in comments, I get it asked in general chat in my Discord. But it's the question is, what should I summon for this new character? Should I summon for that? Should I summon for this? Now, the answer, I never give a straight answer, and the reason for that is because I do not know your circumstances. I do not know how much money you spend in the game. I don't know if you're actually like a new player, because I get this from veterans too. You know, like, oh, I have full bring Ichigo. Should I summon for Soy Fun? Should I a big one that I get asked is I have what is it? I have Manga Toshiro, right? And now Manga Toshiro is currently the best red character for PvE in my opinion. And they ask, should I summon for Senna? Should I summon for this? Should I summon for that? And my answer will always be a very vague, if you want them. Now, if you want them is a very vague answer, and I understand that. But the reason for that is I do not know your circumstance. I don't know your resources. Most of the time, they don't tell me how many orbs they plan on using. They don't tell me if they're pay to play or free to play. Because I know some people that are free to play and are able to save up like 2,000 orbs at a time. You know what I mean? So my answer will always be, do you really want this character, or are you using it, or do you plan on using it as a link? I don't really suggest summoning for links unless you're like incredibly pay to play. Now, for example, let's start with this gacha, all right? No, hold on. Let's go to double chance, not this trash banner that they put out. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, I've been wanting full hollow Ichigo for a long time. Well, this is your chance. Just know that it's a 3% rate, and not only that, but it's only a 0.75% chance that you'll even pull him. So just keep that in mind, and if you like don't get him with only like 1,000 or 2,000 orbs, like it's a very risky selection. You know what I mean? But for example, Ganryu is a very okay character. You have to look at the stats. I think we can look at the stats here. So this is my way of deciding on whether or not I need a character or really want them, because that's a huge difference. Now, if you don't have Manga Toshiro, if you don't have a really good red character, like for example, someone told me that his best red was Tag Team Byakuya. Now, of course, Senna is definitely better than Tag Team Byakuya, so I would suggest summoning. But if you only need her, I would suggest summoning on her an individual banner instead. Um, Me personally, I'm heavily pay to play, so I have that itch to summon on every double chance, regardless of whether I need it or not. You know what I mean? Now, a lot of people see me summoning all the time, and that's because I can. I don't even want to say I can afford to. It's more, I want to. You know what I mean? It's not a need, and I'm like mixing up my words a bit because this is a very tricky subject. Now, the skills that you want to look for, especially as a beginner, are frenzy, flurry, or an incredibly high bruiser or an incredibly high berserker. Most berserkers, even at 50%, is just not strong enough to actually merit even summoning, in my opinion. Most of them get turned into hybrid characters that aren't even that great. All the fillers in this banner, for example, are not even really that useful in PvE aside from Tsukishima and Isane on the left here. Tsukishima is a team healer, so he's not a bad option. He doesn't have frenzy, he doesn't have flurry, and he doesn't even have really that useful of a link. But his skills are really good, and he has a team heal. Same with Isane. That's about it. Her skills aren't really that great. She does have bombardment, so at least her special does a little bit of damage. Tsukishima's special is good, but honestly, Suzumabachi, Yachiru, Love, and Rose are absolute trash in terms of PVE content. Even PvP, Suzumabachi is okay. She is the little girl in the Soifon Zanpakuto. If you guys don't know, I'm trying to do this for beginners, so Frenzy, what it does is it effectively doubles your strong attacks, and Flurry, it effectively doubles your normal attacks. You can also look at these links, the soul traits, if you need the soul traits. Um, if you're summoning for soul traits, I highly recommend you do it for a character that you want. Also, like say like Ichigo, not only is he an Ichigo, but he has a Hollow Killer, so he's going to be useful in PvE. And he also has a strong attack recharge time of 14%, so it's actually useful on top of that. You know what I mean? Long reach is a throwaway skill. I never really care about long reach. Um, I think long reach and adrenaline are two of the skills that I personally don't care for. because more often than not, long reach and adrenaline are throw-in skills. Same with medic. Like if it's a team heal, it's a team heal. It doesn't matter on whether they have the skill or not, because more often than not, we'll report on it. Characters like OG Tech Retsu, she's trash now, by the way, but she has a team heal, doesn't have medic. Parasol Nanao has a team heal but doesn't have medic. Like they don't need the medic skill because it's already built into them. Long reach is something that can be built into the character before they even consider 6 stars. Like a character like who exactly? Halloween Yoroichi is a perfect example of this. She doesn't have long reach. She doesn't have adrenaline. She might have long reach, but without adrenaline, her normal attack damage speed is incredibly fast. This movie one version Ichigo, his attack speed, his normal attack speed is actually incredibly fast. So he doesn't like I said, adrenaline is a throwaway skill in my opinion because they don't always necessarily need it. It depends on how the developers want to make the character. Now, Bruiser 30%, Bruiser 50%, that though these are usually actually really good because it makes their NAD usable. I don't really like Bruiser 20%. Let's see if we can find, yeah, like Bruiser 20%. So her NAD's not going to be that great. She is a range character. So step number one: do you need the character or do you just want the character? If you have it, like my suggestion as a newer player, whether when it comes to need, is you want one NAD character and one sad character for every color. So if your only red character right now is like Noitora or Red Kenpachi, for example, I would suggest summoning for Senna. Whereas if you have Toshiro, like if you have Manga Toshiro and if you have Noitora, you don't need Senna. And more often than not, people ask me if I should summon just so that I can, what's the word I'm looking for? What is that word that I always use? It's like, oh yeah, so that they can have a reason to summon instead of feeling bad for summoning for no reason. You know what I mean? Like they just need an excuse to gamble, and I have that same problem. Like, oh, should I summon for this guy? Should I summon for this? And everyone tells me yeah because they want to see me summon, but sometimes I'm like asking myself and trying to find justification for wasting my orbs. Now Ganryu, let's go into Ganryu for example. He doesn't have flurry, but he does have a bruiser of 50%. He does have a normal attack damage soul trait of 20%. Killer Soul Reaper, so he's gonna be good in PVE. I do think that he's good in PVE. He has crazy high amounts of stamina. He doesn't have Soul Reaper. He doesn't have an affiliation, so he can't use any of the accessories that, like the Captain's Coat, the Enraku, and the Hogyoku that actually give 40% stamina. So keep that in mind. Long reach 20%, throwaway skill. He does have good range, but like I said, it could just be put into him. Bruiser 50% is incredibly high, one of the higher ones in the game. I think that anything Bruiser 50% to Flurry, which is increased normal attack hits, so it's 2 hits instead of 1 hit when you do your NAD. Those you can find on Kenpachi's and the new Noitora. Berserker 30%, not bad, but you can already tell that this character is leaning towards a chappy build, so you're not going to be using spiritual pressure on him, or you shouldn't anyways. Debilitator plus 5 seconds and Sprinter plus 1. Now Debilitator is a very good skill, very good for PvE. Unfortunately, he only has it on 2 strong attacks, so you want to evaluate the character that you're going to pull for. Now Ganryu, yes, he's a good link for Blue Kenny. A lot of people are using that as the as the justification for actually trying to summon for him. But if you have someone like Blue Kenpachi, like he's also a blue NAD character, a very good blue NAD character, or Salaporo, also a very good NAD character with a healer and team boost. You don't need Ganryu. He'll just be a good character at that point. You know what I mean? He's not necessary. That being said, if you have Manga Shunsui, Halloween or Hime, or even who's a really good blue character? Who's the blue character that I use nowadays? No, I just use Manga Shunsui, but or Anniversary Ichigo even. I wouldn't say yeah summon for Ganryu because you need a blue. You know what I mean? You don't need it. Now, if you don't have a good NAD character for blue, then go for Ganryu. Ganryu is not a bad character. I highly recommend you go for his individual banner because Blue Kenny's in it, and Blue Kenny is still the best blue character in my opinion for NAD, due to the fact that he's just amazing overall. PvP, PvE, everything. He's boring to play with, yeah, sure, but you can play with him. All right, Ichigo. Now he has crazy high spiritual pressure. And we're going to go into all this stuff that makes him actually great. Havoc 20%, Frenzy, so double attack hits on his strong attacks. Strong attack recharge time 14%, enhanced link. Now, an enhanced link is always going to be more valuable. Like me personally, I have two Ichigos, and I'm going to hold on to both of them because I just don't have strong attack recharge time 14% links, and honestly, I could make use of them more so than the 12%. So I wouldn't really feed them into each other for specials unless I end up pulling a lot of them, which is just not going to happen because I'm done summoning on the banner. Sprinter. Sprinter is pretty much not a throwaway skill, but it's usually implied for almost everyone except for Kenpachis. And there, let's see. So for Ichigo, I would recommend summoning for him if you don't have a good purple character. We've gotten quite a lot of good NAD purple characters. So we have Stark, Tag Team Jushiro. Who else is a good one? Ryuken. But sad characters, he's very similar to Gin. So if you have Gin, I wouldn't really recommend summoning because you need Ichigo, quote unquote. So just keep that in mind. But other than that, Ichigo's not a bad character at all. Let's go into other colors because I know a lot of people complain about, oh, I don't have a good green character, so Love is in here. Love is trash, guys. Do not summon for a character without Frenzy. I'll go into a good green character, for example, just so that we can have better. Because I'm comparing it to the current banner, and there's only 3 colors in it. Let's do Fullbring Ichigo. Alright, so a lot of people ask me, should I summon for Fullbring Ichigo because the trap banner was out with 5 characters and then Ichigo's in it. Now, Ichigo has Frenzy, a weaken attack on his special, Long Reach. Like I said, Long Reach is kind of a throwaway skill. Devastation 40%. Devastation 40% is good on a character that relies on strong attacks. If you see Frenzy, more often than not, they're going to be based on strong attacks. Tag Team Koga aside, Tag Team Koga is just a very good overall character. Increase normal attack damage. Do I have any NAD links on him? No, I do not. So increase normal attack damage 40%. So he has a bruiser of 40%, which is incredibly high for a character that with Frenzy. So honestly, Fullbring Ichigo is very much future proofed. You can also go for Tag Team Soy Fun. Unfortunately, Tag Team Soy Fun was just recently released. But this was a character that was very divisive when he came out, Wonder-wise. I know Manga Byakuya also was very divisive, but I think that my Wonder-wise is naked. Okay, good. Alright, so normal attack. He has a Bruiser and Berserker 40%. Did not have Frenzy, and sure he has Fire Duration 100%, so he also loses a normal soul trait of actual damage. Sure he has Bombardment, but his normal attack string is so horrible, like even with the Long Reach. So like I said, Long Reach is a throwaway skill because they can make the NAD range as much as they want without adding that skill. And even with this skill, his NAD range is absolutely horrible. So if you need a green character, make sure that they have either Frenzy or a Bruiser of at least 50%. A good example of a NAD character that was very, oh yeah, she's not as good as this, she shouldn't be doing that, this and that, is Apache. Now if I go to Apache rarity, I have a button, no wonder why. Okay, so like characters that are must-haves and whatnot, or like I would suggest summoning for, are Tensa, Fullbring Ichigo, Apache, obviously Manga Byakuya if he ever comes out again, and Lost Agent Soy Fun. Now Apache, even though she doesn't have Flurry, she had a very high Bruiser. Normal attack damage 50%. With, well, actually, oh dang, she had a Bruiser of 30%, but she's also a normal attack damage character. Berserker of 40% and throwaway because she's more of a NAD character. Adrenaline, throwaway because they could have made her NAD string stronger anyway. Same with Long Reach. Devastation 40%. Her special's alright, but I would use her more as a NAD character. Her attack stat is incredibly high. Her spiritual pressure is incredibly low. Like she doesn't even hit 600 spiritual pressure, which even all these new NAD characters are hitting. So that's those are my takes on tech. Now we're gonna move on to Mind because they have the Extreme Co-op banner out now, and honestly, it's not very good. Retsu, sure, she's a team healer, so she's actually incredibly useful for your team. But a lot of people were asking about Shinji. Should you summon for Shinji and whatnot? Now, if you have the new Baragon, Okiora, Grimjow. I wouldn't say you need Shinji. Let's pretend that Sajin's out again. Actually, you know what? Let's not do Sajin. Let's see if we can have another Nad character. Let's do. I'm gonna talk about Raruka. Now, Raruka, if you have like manga Sajin or who are the or even Full Hollow Ichigo, I wouldn't necessarily say you need to summon for Raruka. Now, the reason I didn't want to compare manga Sajin is because he's literally like top of the line right now for Nad in mind. For Mind Nad, excuse me. So I would definitely say summon for Sajin, but obviously he's not going to be out for a while, if anything. And I think Raruka's very much just a very good character in general, but she's not a must-have in my opinion. So she has a Killer of Captain, normal attack damage 20%, Bruiser of 40%. So she has increased normal attack damage base 60% without accessories. Without links. Oops. But she does have bombardment and weakened defense, so she does have like some utility when it comes to raids, when it comes to extreme co-op, when it comes to what's that other thing called, inheritance mode. Like even with Chappie, she's gonna be dealing relatively good damage, and then on top of that, you have your Nad. So those are my thoughts on whether or not you should summon. Like I said, I'm very vague. My recommendations are like as a newer player, try to get a Nad and a Sad for each color after you get a decent character for each color. So like that'll be my recommendation on when to summon, should you summon, how should you summon, how much should you summon, because it's very much based on your budget. Like a lot of the people in my Discord, I'm not gonna say like I have a lot of people in my Discord that are free to play, but I also have a lot of people like with the MythMe coming out about discounted currency, a lot of people are pay to play in my Discord as well. So like it's very heavily pay to play. So a lot of people will come at me and be like, "Oh, I'm about to drop 5,000 orbs," and he's like, "Should I summon for this?" And I'm just like, "Look, I don't know your budget. I don't know if um, I don't know if people buy 5,000 orbs a week, or if people buy like 5,000 orbs every 2 months, or just when they see a character that they like and they need justification to summon." And those are gonna be my thoughts. Like I said, I'm gonna keep the answer very vague almost always. Um, if you still have that question, feel free to message me. I have no problem uh like answering. I literally talk to everybody. Or at least I try to. It's the more subscribers I get, the harder it is to keep in contact. So if I do ignore you, I am so sorry. Someone was asking someone that I actually talk to regularly messaged me. He's like you could at least respond, and I'm just like I didn't even I honest to God I didn't even get the notification for it. And the more subscribers I get and the more messages I get, the harder it is to keep track of things. There's only like maybe 4 people that I consistently try to talk to because I need to talk to them in terms of everything in terms of YouTube. Just because, for example, Mikal, I want to make sure that none of the orders from my subscribers and whatnot get lost through the cracks and whatnot. I want to make sure everything's nice and smooth. But if you guys are interested in discounted currency, if you're pay to play, I highly recommend you check it out. If you're free to play, maybe it'll convert you. Another thing I don't do is I do not ever tell people to buy orbs. I say if it's in your budget, go for it. But I'm not sure. I'm a salesperson, right? But I understand that people have a life, and like I pay bills in my house. I do all this stuff. I my costs are a lot. I pay what $600 a month on car insurance because I pay for my brother's car insurance. I pay for the gas. I pay for the oil. Um I have to pay another $600 for my car registration. Like believe me, I know costs, man. I pay like a couple of the taxes in the house. I pay for groceries. Like and a lot of people complain and they're like, "Oh, you literally play all day." I'm like, dude, I work all day, and when I have time to play, I'll play. But that's just me ranting about life. I'm sorry. I'm not complaining about life. It's just I hope you guys understand that when it comes down to it, I'm a human being too, you know. But like I said, I don't know your budget. I know some I always someone's like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy like 10,000 orbs." I'm just like you're gonna buy 10,000. I'm like, dude, that's a lot of money. And I'm like, why don't you just buy like 2,000, see what you get, and then if you actually need more orbs, then continuously buy. Because right now, Mikal's turnaround rate is less than 12 hours, and that's actually incredibly fast. So you literally just like that's enough to decide whether or not you want to buy, like, spend more money and whatnot. Another thing, I know it might get annoying, but keep in mind that all my videos get demonetized now. Literally all of them. I literally started a channel in my Discord of showing all my demonetization videos. Like, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But yeah, so like, honestly, I don't want to say I'm doing YouTube for free, but it does it is kind of expensive. Just because I could be, I make a good amount of money in my actual job, as opposed to this. You know what I mean? But I will leave the video there. Y'all know what it is, guys. Grind on, catch me up, hit me up, stay blessed, y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Let me know if this video helps you. If you still need help and whatnot, feel free to come back to this video and post a comment. Like I said, I actually check all my comments, which is something that I'm actually kind of proud of. Even though it's been getting a little harder, I still do my best to keep track of every comment that I get. And it's a lot easier to get a hold of me on the Discord. Feel free to check that out. Link below. All the information to Discounted Orbs is in my Discord. The links will be down below. My giveaway ends in 5 days. I'm gonna try to keep it as a monthly giveaway. So if you're a new player and you're seeing this in the future, feel free to check out my newer videos, and I should have links to those new giveaways and whatnot all the time. So feel free to check that out. I love you guys. Thank you so much for everything, for all the support. We did have a give thanks to what you're thankful for Thanksgiving and whatnot for my church, because we're not meeting up next week just because my mom is the pastor, and she always hated how inconvenient church was, especially when it comes to like family holidays. So what we're trying to do is make it more for the families. You know, I think that that's very important, especially especially for the kids. You know what I mean? Like, it's not fair for the kids, like, to have to be forced and dragged to church when it's like Christmas. You know, that's your day off. Like, what is wrong with you? You know. But I will leave the video there. I'm going off on a tangent for no reason. I love you guys. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for all the support, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.